One viewer is waiting. I guess that's me waiting to see my own stream.
Yeah, me too.
Now you should be able to see it. Real-time analytics in the YouTube Control Center.
All right, that's pretty cool.
Hey, everybody. This is, I have no idea what this is. Frank said I need some help with the Raspberry Pi, and I said, sure, let's do it. So here we are.
There we go. I muted the radio caller. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I had to fight a traffic jam. My population
Ooh,
2,000 town. It's just that witching hour where the roads are busy. So I got here 1 minute
2000.
late.
I would love to have that. I just came from Richardson to Euless, and that is roughly a 25, 30-mile drive. With the COVID traffic, I could still do it around under about 30 minutes or so.
So you're saying COVID
That's my
traffic is
commute.
higher?
COVID traffic is lighter.
And
Without COVID,
we
it
said the
was.
magic demonetization word. So
Oh,
we'll see
oh.
how that works.
Are they still doing that? I thought they weren't.
I don't know.
My bad. We'll call it the human malware virus.
We'll call
I'm
it
sorry,
something.
there,
I don't know. No big deal.
YouTube gods there. Um, but yeah, without the human malware virus, it was usually about 40 minutes to an hour. So I'm still flying down the roads.
Okay, good.
So I bought a Raspberry Pi Zero W,
Okay,
and here is the package right here. I don't have my video up. I hope that's in focus.
close enough
So
for how
just
far away from the camera it is.
yeah, I'm just proving that is the W, so that it is the wireless one. I messed with this about a year or so ago, trying to get the headless install working. So it will auto join the wireless network with SSH already enabled, so I could just jump right on into it and have it on the network and SSH into it. But I never figured it out. It never joined the network. I never saw it on my router, and eventually I kind of gave up on it. So seeing your video the other day talking about pies and everything, and I mentioned, man, I had one which I really would like to get the headless going. You're like, hey, I can help you with that. So here we are.
All right. It's actually not that hard to do. Have you got the SD card already burnt and ready to roll?
I have the SD card. It still has the original software on it. We can reflash it. Here, I'm just getting another window I just thought of prepped. Okay. So what software do you like to burn Pi software on? Using what software?
So I use the Balena Etcher software. Oh, they want some more audio from me. Let's try that. I'm a little bit louder now. We've got Kyle and Craig and Smoke and Ape in the chat.
What? What's
Right?
up, y'all?
I use the Balena Etcher
hmm
software. And do you have that or do you have something else?
I got Ruffles, RUFUS right now.
Okay.
You kind of smirked at that.
Ruffles was
That's what
funny.
that's kind of what I think it should be called. Um, you have the share screen disabled. You want me to show it real fast as I
Oh yeah.
reburn
Hang
this
on.
thing?
That's
Well, you do that. I do my side thing. What's going on, y'all in the chat realm? Smoking Ape, Kyle. No, yeah, there's Kyle. AA0Z. Man, that's still a cool call sign. I
I'll
hope
make you
there's
a
a
host.
story behind that to hear one day. Oh, awesome! I am now host.
Everybody look
Um,
out.
sh- Share screen. This is a good idea, or is it going to go bad horribly, horribly fast? Let's check it out. Share. I click the share button. There it goes. We can go ahead and just minimize the chat for now. Um,
Oh wow, I would just move it into full screen mode. Hang on 1 second.
the awesomeness of being live.
Yep.
Let's do an well, I can't do Inception because it will be 40 seconds delayed.
You're good.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool, cool. All right, so I got the card in there right now, which is E? No. Well, it has to be D because this is a surface. Yep, that looks like it. I'm just going to remove it real fast. There it goes. Just put it back on in and watch it pop up.
Is that a tactical belt you're grabbing there?
Yeah, I'm looking for a new belt. I want to.
You're talking about Ape's call sign. I think you should get A0PE.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. That'd be awesome if they could do that. Did it pop back in? No, I didn't push it in all the way. All right, D and E pop up. So that's what it is. D is already selected. Let's go ahead and select the image. So it's in downloads. Downloads. There we go.
A1 APE looks good.
Everything else seems to be okay. So we'll go ahead and just try to burn this real fast.
Frank now wipes out his hard disk in real time, live streaming.
Hasn't been the first time. Actually, you say that. I am working on a hard drive upstairs in an old computer, which I put to a side and be like, I don't think there's anything I want on this. Then I realized I have all my old program folders in there, and the majority of the code's already checked in repositories up in the cloud. But there was one folder, common projects I was working on to commonize some of the code modules that I like, and that wasn't in the cloud yet. And I realized it was on that hard drive, and I plugged it in, and it no longer boots. So that's another project I'm working on.
Kyle says he won his call sign in the back alley of 3-Card Monty in New York City. That's a story to tell.
That is a story to tell.
I think he just pulled out 3 of the Cards Against Humanity cards from the deck. That's just what he got.
I thought burning this won't take this long. I thought it would just be zoop.
Guess it all depends on the speed of your SD card.
Well, it's integrated to the Surface, so I don't think it would be that bad. That's about 20%.
No, I meant the card itself.
Oh, I don't know what this. It's an old card.
There you
It's an
go.
old one out of my camera I used to use, and I was like, I'm not using this that much anymore. So I put it on there. Here's all my SD cards from my camera.
They're talking about what else Kyle won in the back alley in New York City. There's a reason why Kyle never shows both hands on camera at the same time. That's all I'm going to say about that.
So what? So let's briefly go over so there's not too much dead here. What we're going to do or what we need to do to get this headless install going.
Oh, so Ape was asking what you were flashing. You were holding up your SD cards.
Yeah, I
Showing
have
the SD
a
card collection.
yeah, I just have an SD card collection of all the cards for my camera when I go out and do some of my photography. And I just have a micro SD that's in the integrated Surface slot right now. I was going to plug it into the SD card reader here, but I had issues with only one USB port and getting smooth video out of it using the hub. So.
All right. So what Pi 0 headless? So that means to install the Raspbian OS and get it set up on Wi-Fi with SSH turned on, because SSH is turned off by default on the network. So one thing that probably might want to turn your screen off to fix on your Wi-Fi password if you care.
Yeah.
Because you'll be typing that out on the screen here.
Yeah, we'll blank it out once we get there.
Okay.
I assumed it was going to be a file store to modify. If I remember correctly, that was a thing.
Yes.
Uh-oh. What happened here? It just turned red. A write error.
Good thing you got a lot of SD cards.
Well, those are all mostly full size. I already have one Pi card, but that's already has RetroPie on it with a bunch of ROMs, and I don't want to mess that up. Let's try that again.
Andy Cowley's in the chat. Welcome, Andy.
This is what I get for trying to update software live on the air.
Well, what else were you going to do on Friday night?
There's a bottle sitting next to me to the answer to that.
That Knob Creek bottle. Hey, Josh is here. Hey, Josh. Ham Radio
Josh,
Crash
what's going
Course.
on?
OS2 might work in VirtualBox on the Pi if you could emulate the processor. No, I'm kidding. That would be scary. I did get OS2 to work in VirtualBox on my x86 machine, and I now know why it didn't take off. Or shall I say I remember why it didn't take off.
What was the problem there?
Have you ever used OS2?
No.
That was the problem. It doesn't do the thing that you would think it would do. You boot up into a desktop, and I think this was not Warp 4, which had the more friendly user interface, but it boots up into a desktop, and like everything that you know just goes out the window. Like you can't right click, you can't left click, you can't double click. I mean you can, but not in the way you think. And all the OK, like at the bottom of this dialog box you have on the screen here, it says start and cancel. Those buttons would be switched intentionally so that the cancel button's in the spot where you'd expect the start button to be.
Is it based on Vim, and they want you to use Vim commands? Because that will totally blow me out of the water.
No, it's back when Microsoft and IBM were working together on Windows and OS2 at the same time, and they had this big, huge fallout. And one of my upcoming Ham Nuggets guests and I are probably going to talk about it a little bit. But IBM and Microsoft had a fundamental way of doing business differently from each other. And it showed when you launched OS2. Like when you switched from, if you've ever used a Mac before, if you switched from Mac OS 9 to Mac OS 10, it was evolutionary more than it was revolutionary. When you switched from Windows 3.1 to Windows 95, it was evolutionary. Like all the Windows stuff moved forward and you got the start menu.
Yep.
Well, OS2 is like, all the Windows stuff is there, but it doesn't work at all the way I thought it would.
So what was the challenge? You just wanted to do it, or there was a particular point? Yeah.
Nostalgia.
Try to get the old games running.
Yeah. So I actually worked for a large financial company in Baltimore, Maryland, that used an OS2 machine as it was a single point of failure, and it was the core of their infrastructure. And the OS2 machine's purpose in life was to operate the optical jukebox that had all of the long-term storage on it. And the device would routinely fail, which would take down all of customer support call-in lines.
Oh, you gotta love those single point of failures, man.
Oh yeah, that was back when storage was stupid expensive.
Oh, it's still kind of expensive. It depends how much you want. All right, our numbers are moving kind of faster here now.
Must be a better card.
No, same card. I just reseated it.
Oh, you're living on the edge. You're just trying this bad card one more time.
If it doesn't work, you can gut check yourself. Well, the C++. If it didn't work the first time, clear out your project and recompile and see what happens.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
That's the IT crowd.
Yes, that is. That show needs to continue going.
Oh, well, I wonder if this is a bad card now.
Now that it's failed on you twice, you're getting suspicious?
Yeah.
Just toss it, grab another one.
Well, you need the little micro or mini SD cards.
Your boss is in the chat room yelling at you. You might want to hit that boss key and hide.
Yeah, I'm not on his stream. Uh-oh. Shoot. Well, I wonder if it's the program. Let's see what's on this guy. This is the other Pi software card I had that's already running.
Jason, I don't even know what we're trying to do. Frank said he wanted to do something with the Raspberry Pi, and I said, sure, I got your back.
Yeah,
Were you
let's
trying
just
to
use
buy
this.
tennis shoes, Kyle? Going to Reebok.com?
While that's going on, what was that other software that you used?
Balena Etcher? Balena.
BALENA?
Yep. And then Etcher, like scratching grooves in something. Or whatever it was you just spelled.
I bet Jason's already making remarks.
Oh, yeah.
So I did this. What I remember from what I did a year ago, after we flashed the image, we went in there and I created a config file that had the wireless information in it.
Yep.
And another file somewhere I remember I enabled SSH on it. And that's what I'm expecting to do once we get this software burned.
UberGeek318 has joined the chat. Welcome.
What's going on, man? Welcome to the podcast where Frank should be a little bit more prepared.
Pi is good. That's what's good.
Pi is awesome.
Mike N8YO is in the chat room. We are one Michigangster up. Frank's burning a SD card image in one window while downloading replacement SD card.
Burn the candle
software.
at both ends, man. That's how I find solutions.
The chat is now 2 mics strong. Mike Smith is in the house. We've crossed the pond. No pressure, Frank, but we got 13 people watching you.
Yes. I love it. Don't forget to hit that like button.
Mike finally was able to work Wisconsin from Michigan. Good job, Mike. Mike and I have tried to do a on-air QSO and have not been able to hear each other.
Oh, what bands?
All the bands.
All the bands. Just been trying everything.
Yeah, 15, 17, 20, 40.
You haven't even got FT8. That's the one everyone's harping on right now.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of FT8.
Jason was loving it. He was using it all the time at field day. He did jump on the phone for a while.
I was going to do FT8 on field day, but one of the other club members got all excited and set it up for him, and go for it. My FT8 I have running on a Pi.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm answering Smoking Ape in the chat room. And I believe that's on video on YouTube, back in the Draws series way back when. Reese Simmons in the chat asking what we're doing. We are making a headless Raspberry Pi setup for Frank. I'm just kind of peanut
The
gallery.
shepherd, the guide. Almost there. We got past the 50%, so I wonder if this card's bad now. It is an old card.
If at first you don't succeed, try 2 more times.
Yes.
Jason, I'm just patiently waiting for Frank to finish the instruction I gave him 20 minutes ago.
Oh, he knows about that. We used to work together in phone support. Can you click that? Can you click that? Can you click that? Can you bring up a browser?
I think that Frank wants to go headless without VNC, but we can always
Yes.
turn VNC on after we get in.
Mm-hmm. SSH mostly is going to be set up and just kind of plugged into a computer behind a monitor, and I'm going to use it for remote deploying and testing software. Writing image 100 should come up saying complete. There we go. Okay, we've got that step done. So what's next?
All right, so now it should have mounted up again, and there should be a boot disk. On that boot disk, create an empty file named SSH. And that will turn on SSH, and then we got to do one more thing.
Empty file, no extension, named SSH.
I'm going to send you something in back chat.
Cool. While you do that, I am going to go get my password from this wireless thing.
Okay.
Wireless network. Notepad.
And while you're busy there, totally 100% focus on whatever it is you're doing. Jason's asking what you're going to do with the Pi once it's built.
I am going to use it to test some software. I'm writing some software to talk between a number of devices, and it's just going to be my deployment test on a Raspberry Pi. Since I've been wanting to play with the Pi Zeros for a while, and that's what I want to actually run my software on the first instance of. That's why I got it. Okay, so which back chat? Here we go.
Discord.
Got it. You know what? You can find me. You can get access to my wireless. Okay, so let's do another notepad.
That's okay. He misspelled his password on the screen. Don't worry about that.
Oh, that's how you know it's mine.
Yeah, of course.
All right,
Jason
this is
says
what
he's
you
got a
sent
few
me.
hotspots for you to build, and if you need to solder the pin headers on, I got a video for you. It shows you how to do that.
I watched it. It was a great video. I really need to get into it more. Okay, so do we create a file with this in it on the root, or do we need to go somewhere specific?
It goes into the root of the boot drive that you're on now, and the file name is interesting.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's WPA_supplicant.conf. So I'm going to paste that into the chat as well.
WPA_ something.
Mike says that Frank's going to do some next level haxering with the Pi Zero, and he's got that leet speak.
I I got a cool idea to do with the software stuff.
And YouTube
Um,
didn't like the leet speak there, Mike. It wanted me to demoderate that comment and let it go. Apparently, hacksawing is bad. Mhm.
where's edit?
Geek says
I thought there
Hangouts. He
was
thought
edit.
Hangouts was dying. Hangouts died a couple of years ago, but like any Google product, Google doesn't know yet.
Well, they were touting and beating their chest. They're going to let it go away, and then it came around. Too many people like complained about it and were utilizing it. It's a great piece of software, um, and it never did go away. They just took all those messages down and quietly shut up about it. Okay. There is my SSID. There's the password. I think it's WPA.
It doesn't matter at this point.
It doesn't matter. I think it's actually WPA2.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out pretty quick if it doesn't work.
Okay. All right.
The
So that's
PSK is
saved.
pre-shared key. I think it's going to try
Okay.
all the versions. And if not, we've got DuckDuckGo to go search and figure out.
All
DuckDuckGo
right.
doesn't make a good verb. You
No,
can't
it does not.
you can't say I'm going to Google it like you can with Google.
All right. So we got to put this thing in here and get my wire underneath my whiskey bottle. That's why it's up there.
That's why it's up there.
Yeah. It's not like I've been drinking it all day.
That's why it's
Okay.
mostly empty.
Actually, it's pretty full. I think I opened it last on Jason's stream.
Hello,
So
Dennis. Welcome to the chat, Dennis.
if we go to the clients list,
Oh, you're cheating. You
what do
already
you
put
mean
it in and it's
cheating?
booting up?
Yeah, it's booting up right now. The light is flashing. I don't know what name it should be on.
Probably going to be called Raspberry Pi. But it'll take a minute to do its first boot.
Yep. I wonder if this is refreshing. 7 clients. Are you also seeing my video? I'm not looking at the stream. You're just seeing the desktop.
I'm seeing the video. And now I'm back
Okay.
to seeing your Wi-Fi router.
Interesting. Ah, look at that.
There you go. 10.10.067.
Hmm.
So bring up your favorite SSH client.
Yes, about that.
Smoking apes in your Wi-Fi's.
So who else has used putty?
Everybody in the chat raises their hands.
I got started on that back in college,
Oh, you're
doing
young.
programming on Linux servers. And I figured out that you can have multiple putty instances. So I had like 4 or 5 putty windows all scattered around as I'm debugging and creating files and compiling it because I got tired of switching,
So Craig says he doesn't know what PuTTY
especially
is.
working with
PuTTY
PI.
is a SSH client for Windows. SSH being secure shell and a method of connecting to your Raspberry Pi in a secure fashion.
Yeah, that it? Free open? No, that's searching.
I installed Slackware from a zip drive that I
Hmm.
used to store all of the images and made 3.5-inch floppy disks for it.
Yes,
and
Kijun.
installed it on my 486.
Why isn't it showing up?
I think it just downloads the actual executable.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
There it is. Okay. 10.10.0.64.
I don't know. I think you should be able to type just Raspberry Pi in there, depending on how fancy your router is.
67. It should work too. But try to get me to get all that right in the first go around.
You are connecting. Look at that.
All
And you're
right.
in.
So the first login is Pi.
Yeah, Pi and the password's Raspberry.
Look at that. First try.
Hey, it's almost like I know what I'm doing.
Man, I could not get that to work years ago or a year ago.
Well, things
But
have
there it is.
progressed a lot in a year.
Yeah. I bet they made the software much nicer. That is beautiful.
Cool.
If I was upstairs, I would show you some of the code, but I'm not. But I'm working on a cool project that is doing a backbone communication between nodes. So the nodes will come up on the network and they will talk to each other without needing to define all the configuration. Node 1 is on 10.10.60, node 2 is on 10.10.61. They'll self discover each other and
Cool.
then just pass messages back and forth.
Is that going to be like a RabbitMQ type thing, message queuing?
Yes. The thought would I will design nodes, and the backbone doesn't really care about where the destination is. It only cares about where, or it does care. It creates an internal table of IP addresses and where everything's at. So you just send a message to an ID, and it just self routes it over the network and to the other node.
Cool.
Got a lot of that software already written. I just need to finish it up. And I kind of stalled because I couldn't get the pies to come up. I was also using Visual Studio cross compile into Linux in a virtual Linux software running in VM, no, not VM, Hyper-V environment. And I was getting to set up where I was compiling for the Atom processors for the pies.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
Is
it's a
this
pain.
the full install of Raspbian, or did you download the minimal?
I did, I think the full or the standard.
Okay.
Um, let's look at the name itself. And I just realized as I was talking, I was on my gestures and no one saw it. Raspberry Pi OS Buster, whatever that is. I thought that would tell us.
That should not be the minimal. That should be the full thing. That's
Yep,
1.5
and I
gigs.
got everything.
Look at Frank controlling the Zoom.
Yeah, it's like I'm a pro.
You've done this before. Cool. So you think that's it, or you want to turn VNC on and show Craig how that works?
Sure,
Do you
let's
have,
go ahead and do that.
do you have a VNC client on your Surface laptop there?
Let's say yes as we talk for a little bit and for no
It magically
reason,
appears.
and it will be there.
Poof. All right, Craig, just for you. I'm stealing some of Smoking Ape's thunder. But you guys can email tomorrow or do a call or whatever.
Yeah, I'll share again as I get this stuff installed. We'll do the soups or nuts and bolts of it all. We'll show you where to download the software, how to install it, and what settings to put in there because I got to do it all. So, why would we use VNC over other remote desktop softwares?
So you use VNC because it's built into the Pi and it's already configured for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it does graphical desktop sharing.
So that's the key generator. We don't need that anymore. I don't know what you are. There we go.
Okay.
And
So that part's ready. We got to do something on the Raspberry Pi first,
sweet. That's what I thought. All right.
because I'm pretty sure it's disabled. So sudo raspi -config, raspi -config, all one word.
Like that?
Yeah. And then I think it's under interfacing options. And then VNC. And then would you like to enable it? Yes. And it is enabled. So now you can go back to your VNC window on Windows and type in that 10.10.067 IP. I think that's what it was.
Yep.
There you go. Tiny little screen.
That is a tiny screen. Ah,
That's a big screen.
with tiny letters and
So Craig's
stuff.
asking what the difference is between enabling it through the GUI or the command line. And really, there is no difference. It's actually, I think, the same tool. I can show you the graphical version real quick, too.
Well, the way we're doing this is because I don't really have the HDMI mini port to plug that into a monitor. So that's why we needed to do a headless offhand. Chicago, where's Chicago? There we go.
It's in the C's.
Use
two
US
boxes.
keyboard. Use English. Done. I wasn't really planning to use the desktop on here. I just wanted to do everything over SSH. But since we have it now, it makes it much more nice.
And we got time
So
to kill.
this
The
has,
happy hour doesn't start until 7:30.
oh, we have a happy hour? Sweet. It has built-in Bluetooth. I did not know this.
Yeah.
Cool.
Probably BTLE, Bluetooth Low Energy.
I'm pulling up the phone.
This location might require a reboot.
Oh, I just turned off my phone's Bluetooth instead of looking for it.
Craig, you can do this in either direction. It just depends on what your end game is and what type of equipment you have. Like Frank said, he didn't have the HDMI adapter cable because the Raspberry Pi Zero uses a mini HDMI port, so you need a mini to a maxi.
Yeah, that sounded funny.
I wasn't going there again. This is going to change your Raspberry Pi. This is going to change your Pi user's password.
Oh, it wants me to do this. It's forcing me to do this.
Just change it to Blueberry.
The screen is black borders.
It does not. That's for if you're running on a television. You can skip that because you already have Wi-Fi set up. And you can skip the update because we'll do that later. Now, if you go to the Raspberry menu in the upper corner, we'll show Craig the GUI menu. And it's under Preferences, I think. Raspberry Pi configuration. And then Interfaces again. And then you can see how VNC is enabled. This is the exact same, almost the exact same, except this is graphical and the other one's text. This is a Raspberry Pi Zero W, Josh.
One of the first models that they made. I don't know if they did any others.
So the differences, Craig, are Nothing really. So it's probably VNC on your laptop or whatever, your other computer, that's acting up.
Mm. Yeah, so that's pretty nice that it's already built in there for you. Having VNC already there. You don't have to go and install the package and download it.
It's configured to mirror the desktop, and the normal VNC server that you put on a Linux machine creates its own desktop, its own user configuration and everything. So there you go.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And it was much easier this time.
Yeah.
I think last time, I think there was about 4 files and you need to edit and change. But that was, I think, again, the Pi was still so new, they didn't have a specific build for it. Um, so you had to tweak a lot of things to get it to work. But cool. I'm up and going. I'm happy, and I'm working on getting my code going. So one day I might make a video or jump on someone's stream and talk about it more.
All right. Well, thanks,
Look
Frank.
at
This
that.
was fun.
In time for a happy hour
Just
for you.
about, yeah.
Sweet. Well, anytime, man. I'll come on one of these days when I have a lot more to talk about on ham stuff on your hand nuggets.
Oh, yeah. Get you on a Monday night stream. I don't know what we could talk about for 2 hours. We've only been doing this for 45 minutes now.
And we're done. Look at that. Completed the project. The light is solid and on, and SSH is working.
I call that a success.
Me too. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being awesome, Frank.
I'm always awesome.
You are always awesome. So easy, even Frank can do it. Geek's giving you a hard time.
Well, it's nice. Yeah.
All right, folks, we will do this again sometime whenever we have some relatively simple project we can demonstrate. So, thanks for sticking around, and maybe we will do FT8 next time. I don't know. We'll see you in the next Flash stream.
Adios, y'all.